And tonight in our live session, we are working on this painting, which is a landscape scene that was from a trip that I took a number of years ago to California. And so I'm from North Carolina, so I'm from the east side of the coast. And I went all the way out there to California to do art. I was looking at art museums, I was sketching in museums, and I was also making lots of what we call plein air sketches. Plein air is just a big fancy French word that means that you're painting out in the open. You're painting outside, you're drawing outside, you're working in the landscape, you're being inspired of it. There's a wonderful tradition in the state of California for plein air and impressionistic style painting. So I was in the north of California when I saw this little scene that showed up for me in a tiny town that I was in, just driving around looking for things to inspire me. And what I happened to see in this small town was a wonderful little intersection. So there was a train depot here that had this beautiful peachy color. And then there was the stop sign, there was the railroad crossing sign, so a few houses back there and this really cool fence, and then some trees around it. And then this really nice grassy area was in there as well. And just FYI, there's a storm outside of my studio, so you'll hear a lot of rain and a lot of thunder. That just raises the drama here that we have. And so, so for me, I started a painting out there. And I decided that I liked it enough, but the problem was that I can't remember, something happened or I had to leave. I wasn't able to finish it, so I brought this painting back to my art studio here in North Carolina, all the way from California. And the hope is that I can finish it. And I've worked on it for about 3 days now, and I'm excited about getting to the finish line with this one. So I just painted this two tiny little cars. It's hard to see. I know you're a little bit far away from it. Maybe we'll do a separate post where you can see some of the up-close details. But for me, I want to spend some time here for a few minutes working on this painting, putting in some of the details. I've got my teeny tiny little paintbrush that I want to use. I just started this telephone pole, right? This pole, I'm going to put in another one over here. I'm going to clarify that one a little bit. The colors I'm using is a combination of a dark blue, a little bit of a medium gray. Oh, well, thank you. I have some people. I'm getting some parts already. Thank you all for coming by to my YouTube live session. Glad you like it. So we're going to work on this painting, and we're adding in lots of little details. Right in the Middle Ages, there was this wonderful saying. I'm a guy who's taught a lot of art. I'm 28 years as an art professor, and there's this wonderful quote from the Middle Ages that says, "God is in the details." And so we're going to add some details like this light pole. Now I know I have a reference photo that I'm looking at over here. What's good? What does that say? What's rustling in the back? Oh, bats. No, if you're hearing noise behind me, it's rain. There's a storm outside of my art studio, and so it's adding drama to my scene. So yeah, you're hearing the rain outside. It's a pretty intense storm here. I'm in North Carolina. And there's some thunder. And so we're going to add this light post. I need it to come up to about here. I actually want it a little more gray, so I'm going to get, my palettes are just paper plates. I don't use anything fancy, but I need a tiny bit of black. I have a Mars black. There's two types of black that most artists use. They either use something called ivory black, which is a bluer black, or there's a color called Mars black, which is much warmer. And so one thing I recommend for young painters who are learning to paint is, oh, thank you for subscribing. Is it Carlos? Yeah, it looks like it's Carlos. Thank you so much. One tip I give a lot of young artists is you should start thinking about every color you see as being either warm or cool. And that will help you see. We're going to get a little water on this color. I'm using acrylic paints today. I bounce between oil and acrylic and watercolor. So this goes down like this. a little, one of those little boxy things here. And then there's a cross here. And I made this pole much too thick. You found my art. You love my art. Well, thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to get a compliment about your work. I'm someone who spent my whole career helping others with their art, and it's nice when somebody gives you a little bit of a compliment back. You don't know how much it means. It means a lot. So I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Can you say thank you in Japanese? I don't know how, but you can help me. I'm glad you like it, Zari. I'm excited that I have somebody maybe from Japan, or if it's an inside joke, I might be just missing the boat. So we want to suggest this pole. There's a cross pole here going across. I've been painting a lot of scenes that have these poles in them, so I feel like I'm starting to get decently good at it. And I've got to bring in the sky on either side. Well, let's see. Arigato. It says arigato. Arigato. I'm trying now. Every year I teach an art course. I teach a drawing course. Thank you so much that you like my drawing. I teach a drawing course in Italy. And so I've taught that drawing course for 25 years, if you can believe that. And I am trying to learn to speak Italian. It's been a challenging language for me to learn. Anybody here from Italy tonight? You hope to reach my level of drawing? Well, you can. Part of it is just practice every day. Spend a little bit of time each day drawing. You will surprise you. You'll surprise yourself on how quickly you'll improve just by working consistently. I'm just trying to bring the sky in a bit. We got to blend it out, right? Blend it out. We don't want it to look like he went in there with a paintbrush and tried to add in more sky. So again, my name is Raynor. Get a tiny bit more white. Whoa, too much. Whoa. That's the great thing about painting. When you mess up, just paint over it. Just like that. Just make it go away. Don't you wish all of life was like that? And you made a mistake, you just undo it. Just like that. So now we've got the second pole. And now we're going to do our third one over here. It goes up a little bit taller. I also love drawing horses, but I love your drawing. Well, thank you so much. You're so complimentary tonight. By the way, mind if I ask what the crazy sound you're hearing is? There's an intense storm that's happening just outside, and so that's the rain hitting my roof of my art studio, and so it's very loud, and so it brings some drama to our session tonight. So this pole needs to go up. Get my color just right. We have to get our colors right. Get a little bit of black. There we go. We need a little bit of blue. Okay, and we're going to put some water. Yeah, that's a storm. I didn't know it was going to be this stormy. So we need this pole to go up. Looking at my reference point here, to about this far. So we're going to bring it straight down. So there's a lamppost here. We get a little bit of darker, just a little bit darker. And you said, oh well, it's like, but it's like a night for you right now, but it's okay. Okay, so it's dark for you. So where are you? Tell me where you are. Or you don't have to. That might be inappropriate to ask. Oh, there's some intense thunder. So this is one of those curvy lampposts that at nighttime would have a big dramatic beam of light going into it. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? So we're going to add that in. And then we're going to put, there's a little thing here, thing there. And then I may need my small brush again. So remember, I've got a little tiny brush. You said my bit, and I have summer break. So that's so fun. You're on summer break. That's awesome. I'm on summer break too. Okay, folks, we've got to do now the lines. Connect these three holes. I feel like this one needs to go up just a little bit more. There we go. That's, boy, there's some intense thunder here. All right, let's try a line. So we're going to get the brush really wet. What I'm doing is I've got this blue-gray, and I'm just twisting the brush, just like that. A lot of people say I have ASMR voice, so if I make you go to sleep, I'll apologize in advance. So let's bring, we're gonna have to be brave. We do our first line. Too much. I need it to go in one swoop. Let's try that again. You're going to write that down. Let's try it this way. Kind of like that. All right, so we've got our first power line. Continue it. Here. See, I feel like this has got to go on. Because otherwise it's going to look funny. Go. Got a little thick in there. I might have to thin that out later. So we've got our first power lines going across. Ooh, that's a big flash of lightning, so you're going to hear a lot of thunder. Yep. All the noise you're hearing is the dark and stormy night. Let's do another one of these. Just like that. Just like that. Yeah, that may be enough. Maybe a little one here. And then we'll pull another one this way. Just like that. Yeah, that's good, right? You like that? Anyway, I love it. Hi again. Okay, now what else do I need to do to this thing? I know I need some more details. Let's pull in some tiny little details, and then I'm supposed to go inside and meet my son here in a few minutes, but that means I have to go out into the rain to go into my house. I'm so glad you guys like my work. You don't know how much that means. So let's add in some darks in some places here. These are some windows. I wanted to add in some small details in those windows. So some trees, some tree details I wanted to get. Let's see, where else do I need some of those darker tones? I see a spot. It's blue. Here we go. We got a little bit of blue. The street sign back here that I need to add in. And I need to get a little bit more of a little more brown. I want the bottom of this fence to blend a little more. Now remember, for me as an artist, I like to suggest details without going in and intensely doing details. So for me, really working on this fence, it's about the idea of suggesting tones. So I'm going to get my bigger paintbrush out. So let's clean some brushes again. Let's get our papers down. Yeah, I think I'm starting to like this painting. It's starting to come together. This end section is always one of the more fun parts of any painting, with the last details. So we're going to add in pull this fence forward a little bit. Let's get a little bit of a darker brown. And it says, I have some paintbrushes. Good. You'll have to show me your paintings. A little bit of life to that fence over on this side. Just like that. I don't want to go too far down. Let's get a little bit of dark for the bottom. Just a little hint. Have to be careful with the smear. And there's probably some darker tones underneath these trees. Just above the top of that fence. And now, I'm so sorry, but I'm so glad if you'll subscribe. That sounds great. And you get to see my content. And remember, my name is Raynor, in case I can't remember if I told you who I am. Raynor Sean. Oh, and thank you for the hearts. Okay, we're going to get... I feel like we need a little something else in here anyway. So we are going to add in a street sign. But I gotta find blue. Maybe I'm out of blue. Hang on, let me go get some blue. thunder. We're using this blue, Liquitex, nice paint. It's acrylic. Just gonna put a tiny little dab right there. A little bit of blue. We're trying to make a street sign pole is what we're trying to do. We've got our tiny little brush. I wanted to have kind of a gray. Let's get a tiny bit of brown. I keep saying tiny. Tiny little black. That's the color we want. I've just got the color I wanted. Bye. See you next time. Big storm here at my house. So let's go in. Need to add just a tiny bit of cream. I keep saying tiny. Tiny is the word of the day. Because we know these street signs have, so just a touch of green back there. And of course, we need to some garbage in. Add a little bit of dark to that garbage can. Now I'm just looking for little spots. I can probably draw. We need to show some greenery really quickly back in the back here. And a little tree there or a bush. A little tree back there. And now we're going to go back and add some more dark into some of these areas. More of that blue. Like this color as much. I may do some adjustments of this. Yeah, that's a good addition there that I just did. That pulls. Sometimes by using little touches of color in other places, you can really. Hi back. Nice to have you here. Sometimes by adding little touches of color, you can help pull the painting together cohesively as a color story. That's one of those things I'm always interested in artistically. All right, folks, well, it's time for me to go. There's a big storm raging outside, and the rain is starting to ease up a little bit, so that means I can go into my studio and get everybody. It's like a horror movie. But I'm going to clean these brushes. I'm going to let you have one more look at this painting. I hope you liked being in the studio with me for this half hour. And I am so glad you dropped by. I hope you'll give me a follow if you haven't. Everyone take care, and I'm going to try to do another one of these next week. If the creek don't rise, as they say down here in North Carolina. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. One last look before we go.